You may be wondering why I haven't uploaded in, I don't know, a month, but let me show you why. So there's been an issue on my PC, like, let me show you. So, good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone in the world. Handtrap TCG here today with another deck profile. Today, we will be discussing a series not released in English, but in Japanese known as Uma Musume. For those who do not know what Uma Musume is a series that focuses on the personification of famous racehorses in Japanese history. Well, like the name suggests, it's basically horse girls. I decided to do a deck profile on this deck because in my last video, I went up to NorCal and played in a 1K tournament hosted by Chairman TCG and 88 Card House. If you are in Newark, go check them out. Sadly, I went X4 with the deck at the event, but I played at another event known as the Shizukatsu Summer Showdown held by Randall aka Shizukatsu, into which my personal score was X2, sadly, again, due to unfortunate circumstances. But however, focus-wise, I've been able to consistently top with the deck, so as a player of the deck, I am confident in the deck's strengths while confident in playing through its weaknesses. The deck that we will be focused on is with the Satono Diamond level 1 combo and the Current Chan level 3 combo. Like most Weiss sets, the Uma Musume set has a lot of flavor in terms of lore and references. In this case, Uma Musume has a lot of lore and references in regards to the in real life horses, but that does not just cover each character's personality as well, but also their in-game mechanic and attributes, and also their role as a racehorse. So, within the game, Satono Diamond, the trial deck 1-0, is a character labeled to be a horse with strong, long, and medium distance stats, and the role of a betweener, aka a horse that races between the middle third of the pack when racing. But what does this have to do with the ability of her top check 5 and add 1 or add 2 if there is a marker underneath this card? Well, it is mainly because of how much you are able to control the tempo of yourself and your opponent as you are compressing, gaining resources, and pushing heavy damage into your opponent's face consistently. Utilizing the inheritance mechanic, you are able to potentially have a maximum of 9 cards out of your deck from next deck rotation, and with the Stocksoul and add 2 effects of each Satono, you are potentially removing and excluding the consideration of pre-existing cards of hand and clock, so ignore like the fact that you have cards in hand and stock. 19 cards from your next deck rotation. The level 3 combo that is quite popular as this Uma grammar is in Japan in the Musume universe, and between a lot of Uma players when playing with the Satono Diamond level 1 combo, is the 3-2 Current Chan. The 3-2 Current Chan combos comes into play effect is to check the top X cards of your deck, with X being the number of Uma Musume characters on your board, and 1 card to your hand, sending the rest to your waiting room. The climax combo with the gold bar is on attack. While this card has a marker underneath, discard 1 card for a cost and deal your opponent 1 damage. They will proceed to check the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, send up to 2 of those cards to the waiting room, and put the rest to the top of your opponent's deck in any order that you wish to. The combo has both precision and lethality, with the burn 1 and the ability to be able to check your opponent's top 2 cards for any climaxes, as this lets you guarantee damage and also allows you to do small instances of damage in case that you're about to kill your opponent. But even better, if you trigger a Stocksoul and it sticks, you're way ahead. Like the other deck profiles I've done, here is the deck as a whole. So there's a lot of cards, and majority of the deck utilizes the same cards as any other Uma Musume Stocksoul bar list. So I will just speed through each card. Like most decks, you play the Clean Cut, Climax Swapper, the Riki, Stock Swap, the Fukujiro, and Salvage Brainstorm. The notable thing to discuss are both the Riki and the Salvage Brainstorm, as the Riki, or Grass Wander, lets you top 2 check before you pay the 1 and clock the top of your deck to search a level 1 or lower character. Another interesting fact is the Brainstormer, I honestly don't know, for some reason has hexproof, aka cannot be chosen by opponent's card effects for the same, this is kind of random. Like, help me out here, Uma Musume fans. Why does Sakura Chiano O have hexproof, or why can she not be chosen? Is she like optimistic? Is she like invincible? Someone tell me. But yeah, Uma fans, tell me why. Anyways, we're playing other utility cards such as Major O'Bright, where on play, if you control 2 other Uma Musume characters, you may pitch 2, then draw 2 cards, as this allows you to dig for the Stocksoul CX and also the Choose Zero Present event. Speaking of the Choose Zero event, this card is very important as it is very important for your end game and your mid game, as the effect, well, it's pretty complicated, so let's just read the entire effect as a whole. If you have 2 or less memory, send this to your memory. Activation effect 1, send this to your memory to waiting room. Choose 1 card in your waiting room, add it to your hand. Activation effect 2, send 1 in our copy of itself from memory to waiting room, deal 2. The third one is send 2 other copies of this and this card from your memory to waiting room, deal 3 and give another Uma, give one of your characters 3k power. To break down the effect, you would activate the card in your hand and it will go to your memory. Keep in mind, you would have to have 2 or less. So if you have 2 in memory, you can still activate. But if you have 3 already, then you will not be able to activate it as you have not fulfilled the condition to activate the effect. The second part, the act effect, activate based on how many you have in memory. So if you have 1 in your memory, you can activate it, send it up to waiting room to salvage a character. For the bird effects, you can activate 1, send back 1 on top of the 1 activating for a total of 2 going back to the waiting room to burn 2, or send back a total of 3 events to burn for 3 and give character 3k attack. This card is very important as during your mid game and late, not only does it allow you to salvage any missing pieces such as the 1-0 Satono or the 3-2 Current, but also salvage any utility cards as well. Last few important cards that are used in most Musume decks are the Rivals, Daiwa Scarlet, and Vodka. Both cards have an on effect to change from one to another, but the individual effects are different and the uses are kind of different as well. On Scarlet's battle, your opponent cannot use events, and during Vodka's, your opponent cannot use backups. If you put 2 for 2 together, the utility is different as some decks have minus soul or damage nullification backups or events, so it depends on the scenario. The second difference is the Scarlet deals 1 damage to your opponent on play, while the Vodka heals you for 1. You may be thinking, but why is there a change effect and you only play 1 of each? Well, let me show you. If you are able to access both in your hand, whether you held it from Diamond, took it from Current, or salvaged it from the Choose Your event, you are able to play 1 of them and then the other. You would then be able to heal 1 and deal 1 to your damage. Simple, right? But what if I told you you're able to do both options twice? You may be thinking I'm crazy, but you may also be thinking, what does this have to do with the change event or the change effect? Well, the cost of the change is to bounce the character, and because in Weiss you may pay the cost but not need to resolve the effect as you are resolving as much as possible, you would proceed to just, only pay the cost so you can bounce the Musume back to your hand. So you would then proceed to activate the second one and then change it to the one you initially returned to your hand first. So say, to demonstrate, you wish to heal twice and burn your opponent for 1 damage, you would play the Vodka, heal, then the Daiwa, deal 1 damage. Then at the start of the climax phase, you would proceed to bounce the Vodka first, and then proceed to bounce back the Daiwa to change into the Vodka that you bounced back first from your hand and heal again, because it is a come into play effect. So before we end the video, before we say adieu, what are the 2 cards that I am playing I have not discussed, and the 2 tech cards that I decided to play? Well, the 2 tech cards I have decided to play are 2 cards I have seen play in the JP tournament circuits due to matchups that occur within the tournament season, as they are very matchup specific, or they are just cute utility cards as well to help you speed through your deck. Well, the first card, Fine Motion, is mainly utilized as a hand filter and also dig your deck for CX for your Satono Diamond Climax Swap or Climax combo throughout the game, as it is a brainstorm for 4, and for every climax you would top 3 check your deck and add a card. The second card, Kawakami Princess, is a 2-1 that has 2 effects. If this card has a marker underneath and you have 2 or more other Uma Musume characters, this gets 3k power, and if you have 2 or more Uma Musume characters, this gets 6k. To summarize, cross turn, if you have 2 or more Uma, Kawakami Princess will be 14k cross turn, as this card was used for matchups such as Alice Gear, Tenshura, and other decks that play a Towers, aka Cleave for Towers, Smile, or early plays, aka 3-2 early plays, -2, you get what I mean. But the card is sometimes seen to replace the 2-1 Gold City Bodyguard that was is shown to be very popular in a lot of Musume Satono current decks, or also the 2-1 Fuji Kiseki. However, in this deck I play both Kawakami Princess and Fuji Kiseki. To conclude, this deck profile was a lot of fun, playing repeatedly for a month straight, and it was a very strong process to learn. Like, it was very frustrating at times. It was also very rough at times, but however, it was very interesting to play and learn the niche plays with this deck, as I hope those who watch this video would find interest in ways to fix this deck, as there are different ways to build this deck, and however your playstyle is, the deck is very flexible to it with the amount of utility that comes within the set as a whole. So, especially with set 2 coming out soon, aka in like 2 weeks or so, it will introduce new cards into Musume within the game of Weiss Schwarz.